There we go. This time it worked. The previous time I don't know what went wrong, but we may have a few people watching and tuning into the stream. And to all our viewers, welcome. Yeah, it's so awesome to have everybody here, and I'm super excited about this introduction of our relationship recovery team. Beautiful couple, people that I've walked the journey with myself for a number of years. And I told them before the time, I hate every time I go live, I go, hello, everybody. It's so welcome to have all of you here. You know, that stupid language we speak whenever there's an audience. I'm going to try not do that today. But Kevin, Michelle, what a privilege, what an honor. So great to have you guys here with us. And yeah, I'm so excited to introduce you guys to everybody that's following us on Facebook. And there's quite a few people that will be watching this. So welcome, Kevin, Michelle. Good to have you here. Thanks for making the time, and thanks for bearing with all of the glitches and stuff before the time.
Thanks for having us on. We really appreciate it. It's also an honor for us to be with you on this today. So we really are excited about this.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin, Michelle. Awesome. So, like I said, everybody, Kevin Michelle's working with a couple's relationship recovery process. Maybe, Kevin, Michelle, maybe I can ask you guys, what brought you to help people and have such an amazing dedication and passion to help people? If you guys would like to just share why you're doing this.
Mm-hmm. So I think the fact that we got it so wrong.
Yeah.
Like, we set out to make marriage hard and practically impossible. And honestly, the fact that we are sitting here is a miracle, because we did everything that you are not supposed to do. And we are, so as a result of that, we've become passionate in helping people so that they don't make the mistakes we did.
Yeah.
And if they do make the mistakes we did, we can walk alongside them and go, hey guys, we did it so much worse. We were right where you were, and we survived it, and we're okay. And we may look a bit more battered and bruised, but we are here.
Yeah.
And so if we can walk alongside people with hope in any way, then that's what we do. Our passion is marriage. That is our absolute passion. If somebody phones us in the middle of the night and says, we are having the biggest fight of our lives, we are there. If somebody else phones us in the middle of the night for like rubbish, we're like, oh, sorry, go back to bed.
That's awesome. So battered and bruised. I don't know who was battered and who was bruised. I'm suspicious. Kevin, how long have you been doing this?
Men, it's around about, I'd say just over 10 years now that we've been busy with marriage counseling. So we ourselves have been married going on 30 years this year. And so we've been doing this. We started off on a very small, learning how to, dipping the toe, you could say. And I'm telling you, we felt such a calling to get involved with this, and such a calling just to try and help couples not, like Michelle just said, now make the same mistakes we made, because man, we made mistakes. And also just adding on to what Michelle said, if someone had come to us in our first, say, 7 years of marriage and said, in the future, you guys are going to be doing marriage counseling, we would have laughed them to scorn, because there was no hope at that stage that we were ever going to be doing marriage counseling. But by the grace of God, here we sit. So that's our route that we've taken, and and we really, like Michelle says, we have a heart for it. We have a passion to see marriages healthy and strong.
Sure. Is there anything that you could share with us? Maybe there's a page out of your very thick book of how to do everything wrong that you could share with us. Like what type of mistakes are we talking about? If you're comfortable to share something like that.
Yes.
So in the beginning, when we got married, we were both very young. We got married at 21. So we walked into marriage with an immaturity, first of all. And the first year was like we were on honeymoon. But from the second year, it just got rough. Like, it was hairy rough. So we had to work on the communication and our blueprints from our childhoods that we had brought into it. So I had a childhood where I had seen my mom and dad fight, like rip-roaring fight, and then sulk with each other for 10 days.
Yeah.
And then the kids, my sister and I, were the runners between go and tell your mom this, go and tell your dad this kind of thing. And Kevin had come from this marriage where it was a Christian family, and they had spoken about everything in the bedroom, and they came out and they were friends. So he didn't know what happened in the bedroom. He just knew it was
the magic bedroom. Everything happened in there.
The magic room. And
Yeah.
so in the beginning, from the second year, we had to work on our communication style, because I had fight or flight, and the flight was serious.
Yeah.
Kevin used to hide my car keys so that I wouldn't disappear, just so that we could have a conversation and sort out arguments. So then we started working on the blueprints of what was wrong and how we had to fix that. And then from about the third year, we decided we were going to start trying for children. And then we battled with infertility for 9 years.
Yeah.
And then so that in itself was hard. And getting around how intimacy wasn't just intimacy. Intimacy was now purely on a recorded date at a recorded time kind of thing. It lost that bloom in a sense that, and eventually we stopped it and we said, that's it, we're going to get the doctors to help us with falling pregnant, and we were then going to work on getting the intimacy back to where it belonged. So then we battled with that for 9 years. And
can I just interject here? I can tell you now, when I was at school, if someone said to me that in a few years' time, the doctors are going to tell you to have sex for breakfast, lunch, and supper, I would have frothed them out from happiness. Until the doctor told us we had to have sex for breakfast, lunch, and supper.
For 10 days in a row.
And you're hiding behind the couch when your wife comes home.
And you're like, that's so
No,
Hold my beer.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
shocking. And then I had a 30-year wobble in that, and I'd spoken to a psychologist afterwards. In my head, I had, before I was in my mind of old, I wanted to live in a house with a white picket fence, and I wanted 2 kids, and I wanted to be happily married. And at that point, we weren't happily married. We were fighting like cat and dog. There were no 2 kids. There was no white picket fence. And I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable. And I started an emotional relationship with somebody at work. So I went down that road where, thank the Lord, like it's not just time, but also it says, like, if you've committed that sin in your mind, it is as good as. So, like, so we had that. Kevin also had that on his side, where he also nearly went down that road and also like stopped it at the 11th hour. Like, and so we can tell you, like, we've been down that road, and then slowly things started coming right. Slowly we were like, okay, we've got to get this on track. We've got to start getting our marriage as a priority. And then we started working on it like intentionally, and that's when things started to change for us. And so when we change things in the past, we'd love to, because we wouldn't want to hurt each other, but maybe who we are now, and now we sit with a passion for people, and people will come to us and go, well, we've had an affair, and we're like, well, we've all been there, we've all done that, let's sort it out. In between that too, we also had a miscarriage at 20 weeks. So that was also something we dealt with too. And so, like, it has been rough riding, but I don't think I'd want to do any rough riding with anybody else except you.
No, likewise.
Sure. Wow, that's so awesome. So what's the pain of all of the stuff that you've been going through, the greatest pain? What's the biggest emotional thing that you guys, most painful experience that you've had? That's the last question, by the way. That is a bit intrusive. What is the, maybe you could just share with us the pain that, what was the pain like? What did that
we
feel like?
don't mind talking about anything.
No, we'll talk about anything, Kenneth. You can ask us anything.
Awesome.
I think one of the things was losing our second child was extremely painful, and it also wobbled me as a man in that, as a husband to Michelle. So that really wobbled me a lot, and also the process of having our first child and all of that. You see your friends all having children just by walking over the guy's fence, and in our situation it was hard work and effort. And and it really, every month when you see that negative result, it hammers you, it just hammers you. And I think that was one of those things, and also when Michelle, we had a wobble that you feel like you're losing your partner. I think for me that's one of the hardest
sense
things
of loss.
That sense of loss, that sense that I am not all that she wants me to be for her, and that I think hurt, and it took us, a while to recover from that. But praise God, good to us, and he turned us around. We recovered, and all good.
There'll be many viewers that can relate with that feeling, like I'm not good enough for my partner, and that comes from any sort of pornography related betrayal, or any sort of betrayal experience. The real impact of that is the fact that I feel like I'm not good enough. You wanted to say something there, Michelle?
No, I was saying I agreed with what Kevin said. Like those were
some of the toughest days.
Yeah.
Sure, that's awesome. Oh, well done for coming through that. You guys are world class, and I feel so privileged that you are working with us. And I really trust that God will be using you mightily in every person's life. If there's a message, I know we can talk about Grace Online, what we're doing. This isn't about that. This is about you guys. If there was a message that you could give a viewer, somebody that is relating with that, I'm not good enough, and they feel the pain of that betrayal, whether it is the loss of the baby or the whatever, I'm not good enough. What is it that you would like to say to them on behalf of Grace Online and our organization?
You know what, I think, Kenneth, from my side of things, we've got to look up, we've got to look at God for that. It's when those things hit us hard like that, there is no answer for us on this earth. We can't come up with the reason why we've lost a child, whether it's a medical reason or whatever. You can't explain that pain away. You can't, you can't lift a carpet and sweep it underneath. It's part of you, and it becomes part of you. But it isn't you. It isn't who you are. It's part of the process in life. There's many things that go wrong, many ups and downs in life. But it's what we do at the end of that. It's that song, I get knocked down, but I get up again. That's exactly what it is. Even in your marriage, you're going to go through moments in your marriage, whether there's porn addiction, whether there's sex addiction, whether there's other addictions. You're going to go through that sort of stuff in your marriage, but you're going to get knocked down, but you've got to get up again. And the two of you have got to spend time communicating. That is the most important part of your marriage, is that the two of you have got an open line of communication with each other.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think if any couple wobbling out there, like, our first piece of advice to them is communicate. How much time are you communicating? And about everything. There should not be one thing that is off the table about communication. Nothing. You should be communicating in your relationship. You should be communicating about the kids. You should be communicating about sex. There is not one area of communication you shouldn't be talking about. So, like, if you're sitting there now and you're going, I actually don't know how we're ever going to get our relationship right, prioritize communicating.
Spend time with each other.
Feels like what you're saying is landing with me. I think me and Rosalda need to come book some couch time with you guys. I battle with communication, and sometimes it's so hard for me. There's so many things happening that my head is so full, and then I just give her the crumbs, and then she gets very irritated with me. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about this stuff. I've got the next thing that I'm heading towards, So it's communication, like you said. And not just for me, in my case, I need to try and be more communicating more about where I'm at currently and what is happening in my heart, what I'm feeling about stuff. And so thanks for that. It felt like a bit of a counseling session there. The other thing about the losing the child, I spoke a few days on Facebook about my whole experience with that as well. So what you said there really resonated with me, also from struggling to fall pregnant, and the whole experience with that, and then losing the baby and not feeling good enough. It's something that I really, really resonated with. I really appreciate the time that you guys have taken to be here today. I appreciate your openness, your vulnerability. Me and Kevin had a coffee yesterday talking about this live stream, and I said to him, it's so important for us to have the real facts on the table, the raw emotion, the focus that brought us to this specific place. And at the end, the results, what is it that I got out of the way that I approached life? And that is what our organization is all about, is to help people change and transform, become the best versions of themselves. And we do this every single step of the way I do it with my hand in God's hand. He guides me every single decision. I feel like everything we do is guided by God. Not that we do everything correct or right all the time, but he's definitely in control of the situation. So maybe God is speaking to someone's heart out there, and he's calling you to take a step and make contact with us, because I'd love to introduce you. If you're struggling in your relationship and you're battling with anything, please use the direct message function. Send me a message, and we'd love to connect with you guys. Any final words, Kevin, Michelle, anything from you guys? I'm happy with what we've done today.
Kenneth, I'm just going to reiterate what you just said. If your hand is not in God's hand, you're in trouble. You know, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your life experience, whether it's in your kids dealing with your children, you have got to have your hand in God's hand. Otherwise, you are in trouble. So, do that. Find him. Put your hand in him.
Sure. Awesome. Thanks, guys. That was awesome. I hope you have a phenomenal week. Maybe if the people want to hear more from you, they'll like this video and they'll make some comments. We can have another session sometime soon. But for now, hope you have a phenomenal week further. And thanks for the time. We'll connect again later next time. Thanks guys.
Thanks, Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.